Awesome. We are live from the unformed or unconformed on form podcast. Very excited to be with everybody today. Oh, we got hit with an ad. But very excited to be with everybody today on the On Form podcast. A lot of stuff to go over today. A lot of stuff to go over today. Um, and really pumped after this week. You really can't complain too heavily about a lot of the results that we have going on with the club and some of the things that have kind of unfolded. So it's very interesting, especially on with some of our rivals kind of coming in doing some ridiculous things. We'll talk about Rodri. We'll talk about the Ballon d'Or and how ridiculous it is that Mohamed Salah did not get even a top 30 nomination this season after obviously not having a season that he typically would have, but still probably matching some of the stats that you're looking at with some of the best players in the league. So a little unfortunate on those types of things, but hey, we I don't know. I feel like we have to maybe change the criteria of the Ballon d'Or and all of that kind of stuff, and look into who's deciding who gets the trophy and whatnot. And Rodri getting it this year actually upsets me a little bit, mainly because I just know that Virgil van Dijk could have gotten it one year when he probably deserved it the most, and then they kind of just gave it to Messi. So that's the main thing that I'm just kind of upset about in this whole thing and how it panned out. And so we'll see. But anyway, welcome back to the podcast, guys. Appreciate you guys all for popping in here. Of course, this is the On Form podcast. We talk anything and everything Liverpool FC, and we talk about which teams are on form. We talk about which teams are out of form, and we will see kind of how things unfold as we go. We also go over the news for the week. So there's a lot of really interesting news in the media for this week in terms of new players for us. So we're definitely going to be diving into that. And then we're going to be looking at our next couple fixtures, which are back-to-back Brighton. And we know Brighton is definitely one of those teams that can cause us a lot of issues and problems. And we'll talk about what Arne probably needs to do and some of the changes that we'll probably see moving forward. So very excited to be with you guys here, and let's just get straight into it. So I'm looking at there's some comments already here. I'm mega early because I need some positivity. United getting Amarim is making them a little too happy for my liking. Hey, my thing about Ruben Amarim, and you guys know that I'm actually a fan of the way he plays football, the way that he coaches teams and things like that. I'm a big fan of that, actually. And I think he is probably a better fit for a team like Liverpool versus a team like Manchester United, weirdly enough. And I think that his appointment is very interesting. One second here. Wait, what's going on with my camera? Oh, goodness. What? My camera is all messed up. Oh, goodness. Here we go. Yeah, I'm seeing that, guys. It's blurred out my camera for some reason. That is not good at all. Okay, let's pivot. Give me 1 second here, guys. Let's pop this on, and we're just gonna go manual on this thing, boys. Boom. There we go. Booming. We're back. So, technical difficulties, the sequel. Now it's the camera. We fixed the mic. Now all of a sudden, the camera's the issue, which is even more depressing. But thanks for sticking in there with me. But as for Ruben Amorim, for me personally, I think he may be a better fit for us versus for Manchester United, mainly because he's one of those managers that's going to need a lot of time. He's going to need a lot of grace from the board that he ends up, that ends up hiring him. In this case, it's Manchester United's, obviously, which they haven't. I mean, I guess they do give their managers a good amount of time. I think more so, the main concern should probably be for their fans, right? Their fans are going to have to really get used to a completely different style of play, a completely different style of approaching football. Again, right? Ten Hag was already a difference and a change in those things, and now they're going to have another swing in in and tactical, right? And a tactical prowess, right? So with Ruben Amorim playing that 4-3-4, we know that that's going to be something that their fans are going to have to really get used to. Their fans are really going to have to kind of understand all of the nuance behind it and things like that, and it's not going to be easy, right? So that's going to be that's like the main thing that I would say for Amarim in this case, as to be like, maybe this is a worry, maybe it isn't a worry, but we'll see. I mean, because the 4-3-4 is just, it's such a unique formation that isn't used often in the Premier League at all. But I think it could work. And like the video I have of actually of a full video about Ruben Amorim on the channel that deep dives into the tactics behind him, how he thinks, all of those things. And I think it could work. I think if the Manchester United fans are just patient and they're willing to have some rocky, probably a year or 6 months, 8 months, whatever it might be, for this team, his team, to kind of adapt to the way that he wants to play. I think Xerxes is gonna benefit a whole ton from this appointment, because it's very similar to the Thiago Manta type of play, where the defenders, they carry the ball into the midfield, and the attackers drop down, and they're almost in a false nine, and then the wide players, they stay very wide. But it'll be interesting to see. I think it'll be a little bit before Manchester United get back up to where they need to be, but I think it's a good appointment for them. I think it's more of an appointment of a best available type of appointment. I thought they would go with Ruud van Nistelrooy, but turns out they like Ruben Amorim a little bit more. I thought they were just going to stick with Ruud and see how things went, kind of how like they did with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So we'll see what happens over there. But as for Liverpool, I don't think we have anything we need to be worried about at all. But, and then I'm going back to some of these comments before we dive into the on-form category. Not concerned at all by Amorim. Sloppy seconds. So many great teams have passed, including us. That is very true. I believe Chelsea also passed on him as well. Alex, what's up, brother? Welcome in, my friend. I know you weren't able to make it to the last one, but good to hear from you and seeing that you popping in to hear. It's true. I mean, Amorim, and he's somebody that I like personally, and that's not going to change just because he is managing a rival team. That's one that I wanted over Arne Slot. Now looking back, we know that that probably wasn't a good idea. That Arne was the right man for the job, and I'm very, very happy to know that Arne has completely blown all my expectations out of the water and proved me wrong. But we'll see if it works with Manchester United. The main thing for me, like I said before, his style of play has to work with their fans. For us, I feel like we're a fan base where we're open to a lot of different styles of play. We're open to change. We're open to having different, kind of philosophies and stuff like that. I mean, we've had the Rafa philosophy. We did Brendan Rodgers. We had Jurgen Klopp. All of these styles were so very different. Um, I'm not sure if Manchester United fans are ready for a 3-4-3 type of football, but in full flow, Ruben Amorim can be very dangerous and he's very cool to watch. So we'll see what happens. Also, leaving on bad business with Sporting is weak sauce. Absolutely. Just to up and leave immediately. And I think that was I think that was more of him wanting to grab his opportunity and his chance this time, because I think he felt he blew it with Liverpool. He was the guy after Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso was option number one, right? Um, and we wanted Amram. He was the guy. Amram was the guy. And I think he would be our manager today if he just didn't pull some dumb stuff trying to get more money out of us from West Ham. But for him to just up and leave this time, it doesn't look good, especially for their fan base. If they ever play each other in the Europa League, in the Conference League, that team, I expect that stadium to be extremely hostile. And he already kind of put a bad taste in their mouth from when he was, negotiating with us in West Ham, right? I heard a lot of the fans were not happy, like at all, with him for negotiating in mid-season. And now, I mean, he didn't even give it 3 days. My boy was on top of that thing, brother. So very, very weird situation for United and Amorim. But Brian said United getting Amorim is just odd. Doubt it changes anything with the staff staying in place. It's true. It's true. And then Reece Graham, again, he's talented, can't take away from him. But at the same time, this is a dude who needs his manager to fake interest from West Ham to pressure LFC and giving him money he didn't deserve. It's true, man. It's a little weird. It's strange. It's a strange scenario. And him ending up at Manchester United is even more strange. And I think it was more of like a necessity kind of thing. And like I guess like what I said before, a best available kind of thing, right? Best available option that Manchester United had right now. I guess it was Ruben Amorim. He jumped on the opportunity this time instead of dragging his feet. So you can't blame him for that. But I'll be interested to see what ends up happening with him moving forward in Manchester United. It's not going to be a smooth transition like how it was with Arne and Jurgen Klopp. It's not going to be at all. I promise it's going to be a long process for them to kind of get used to his style of play. But it's absurd that he's not involved. And honestly, the BA is bullshit. I think we're talking about Mo Salah there, right? So technical difficulties, the sequel, right? Exactly. He's only cared about the bag first, and it's true. It's really just been about money for Ruben Amorim from the beginning. Versus Arne knew the opportunity that he had to manage a club like Liverpool FC, and he took it with both hands. And look at him now. So I'm very happy with our appointment, and I love it. But Mo Salah not getting that Ballon d'Or is, or at least the nomination, is kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous, right? So I just don't understand how he's not even just in the mix of things, right? In the top 30. I know we only won a Carabao Cup last season, and these guys are winning, Euros and things like that, and Champions Leagues, which holds a lot more weight. But I could name maybe 10 or 15 other guys who have a similar trophy cabinet as Mo Salah that are on that list, and Mo should probably be above those guys. So I don't know. It's very strange that he's never won one. Now that I'm thinking about it and looking back, that Mo has never won one or even got close to winning one. I think that's another thing that I think maybe we should probably start having more conversations around, is that like how the hell did, and this is no knock to Virgil at all, how did Virgil get closer to winning a Ballon d'Or than Mo Salah? It just doesn't make any sense at all. And that's saying something, given that I think VVD is one of the best defenders in the world, And I think Mo is one of the best attackers in history, right? So that should, kind of put like a level to it. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. No, I for sure know you guys think it's unjust, but it's a little bit strange, some of the Ballon d'Or stuff coming out, and then the entitlement from Real Madrid is a little weird too. I don't get that. I don't get why they're acting so outraged by this. I thought the general consensus was that Vinny Jr. was gonna come second always, and it was really between uh um Rodri and Bellingham. That's what I thought. That's what I personally thought. But I guess not. And now they're saying, oh, Vinny deserved that. I'm seeing a lot of people say Vinny deserved that more than Rodri did. I don't think so. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think so. I don't think Vinny deserved that over Rodri, mainly because I feel like Rodri was just a little bit more important for his team than Vinny was. Like you can see it now. You can see it now more than ever that Rodri is very, very important to Manchester City and what they do and how they operate. And you can see how it's just greatly affecting the team and greatly affecting Manchester City's results and how they've been able to perform this season. Rodri being out. Versus, I think if Vinny is out and Vinny is injured, I think Madrid continue to kind of just have the form that they're having now. They have Mbappe, right? They had Rodrigo. They had Bellingham back in that season where he had a monster season, right? But I think Rodri deserved it. You guys let me know. Did Rodri deserve that Ballon d'Or nod? You got to let me know. I hate City so much, but Rodri is the best player in the world. He is. And for last season, yes. For last season, yes. He's the best player in the world. Right now, obviously, he's injured. We don't know what that looks like. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think is the best player in the world right now? Right now. Right? Who is the best player in the world right now? Like as we speak. Not like Ballon d'Or over the past year. Who's the best player in the world right now as we speak? Like who's putting in the best performances? Who's impressing the most? Who's the most important to their team right now? That's really interesting. I actually don't know who's really like the standout in that category right now, but I'm interested to see what you guys think who the best player in the world right now is. So maybe there's a Liverpool player in the mix, bro. If you're outside the minds of the French and Spanish writer, click. You don't matter. Look at the last decade of rewards. It's a joke, but I ain't mad about it. Yeah, I mean, the credibility already for that award already went down when Messi won it last season. And I know he won a World Cup. He didn't deserve that Ballon d'Or. He didn't. That's too much to answer right now, right? That's a very interesting question that I feel like we maybe even aren't even having a conversation around because obviously it's Ballon d'Or season and all we're thinking about is the past year and the accomplishments that everybody has made right now. But Rafinha is maybe up there, fucking dog. Ryan Gravenberch is up there for sure. I'm talking about like top 10 guys, not saying like, oh, these guys are the guys. You could even throw maybe Marmouche in the mix, who I don't really rate too heavily, but right now the form that he's on is kind of crazy. You could even throw who else? Cole Palmer in the mix. You could throw Cole Palmer. You could throw Mo Salah in the mix, right? These are just some names that I'm thinking about right now that are just like, all right, yeah, these guys are ridiculous right now, and the stats are showing it, and the effect of on field and off field is showing it. So let me know what you guys think. But Just walked through the door, got to walk back out. Thought I would hit the like and the comment. We'll watch from the start. Big up the chat and the channel. Absolutely, Red Chili. You are the man. Appreciate you, brother. Pop in whenever you can. But let's go over the teams that are on form, the teams that are out of form, and some of the news. So last week, we had some interesting fixtures. So Nottingham Forest get a win. City get a straight pass with another win, dude. And they are somehow still not in my on form category, man. They still look like a very beatable team, right? They still look like a team that probably is going to drop points pretty soon. I was gonna throw Wolves in the mix here too, just for fighting back and being able to kind of get a draw other than a loss. But I would have to say my winners from this week, it's got to be Chelsea. Chelsea is up there. West Ham is definitely going to be in the mix for me. And can Liverpool and Arsenal share a spot? That's what I'm going to say. I think actually, you know what? I'm going to say Liverpool makes it in the on form category this week. Only just. Mainly because, and let's dive into that. Mainly because I think this is a result that does favor Liverpool in the long term. And therefore, I feel like it's warranted that they stay in the on form category. And then I think this is a result that ultimately hurts Arsenal more than it hurts Liverpool in the long run. That's the only reason why I'll put Liverpool there instead of Arsenal. I think these are 2 points lost for Arsenal versus a point gained for Arsenal, in my personal opinion. Because now they're falling even further behind City, 5 points behind City. And we know, yes, City don't look great this season, but we know you need to be damn near perfect in order to beat them. Whether they're at their best or they're at their worst, you still need to be close to perfect. And I still believe you can't lose more than 3 games or have an equivalent of 3 games lost, whether that's through draws or through actual losses. I feel like you can't have an equivalent of 3 games of points lost. So 9 points. You can't lose 9 points against Manchester City. If you automatically are behind 9 points against City, write the title off. You're not winning the title. City's beating you. And I've done the math over the past few seasons, and it's kind of crazy. That's just kind of how it's kind of worked. The only times we have been ever able to beat them is that we've kept our losses under the 3 mark, or we were close to perfect, that perfect season, right? So it's crazy. And then anyone else who's won the title in between that time. So it's tough. Arsenal think there is an agenda at Liverpool fans is on VAR for them next week. No, dude. And they keep pointing to that moment where Kivior went over the back of Szoboszlai, which is a foul. It ricocheted onto Havertz's arm, who directed into his own path, which is also another foul. He knocks it into the air. Trent goes and clears it. Somebody, I can't remember which player, barges into his back. That's another foul. And then Gabriel Jesus is offsides. That's another foul. So even if we say, there's no world where that's not where one of those don't get pulled back in those moments. So I don't know what they're even talking about in that whole thing. That Sabo went underneath Kivior, and that's a foul for him. Now, no, Kivior jumped on top of Sabo's back. It's ridiculous. And that's the thing about that fan base is that they look at those little small details and they blame that for the results when they need to be looking at the players on the field. They need to be looking at the manager who's deciding to put every man behind the ball anytime they score. Those are the things that they need to do. You manage the game when you're 2 up, when you're 3 up. You don't manage the game when you're 1 up. Okay? That's just not what happens. And then Brian said Arsenal fans and fans from London are bent. No joke. No joke at all. They truly believe that their clubs are the best in the world. The Chelsea supporters, Tottenham, Arsenal, and they think that they've won a lot more than they actually have. I mean, the only club that I could say really just goes band for band with us, City and Manchester United. I'll give them credit as well. Is really Chelsea in recent years. I mean, winning Champions League, winning Premier Leagues. Those are the only ones that you can really say are in that competition with us. Ever since Arsene Wenger left, I don't think Arsenal is hit those heights that they believe that they're at. Right, Tottenham, we don't even need to bring up. Right, so yeah, it's crazy. West Ham though, West Ham has some good passionate player support, and I can't knock West Ham. I love their song too that they walk out to. Um, and then Kazim said, "When did you start following LFC and the reason?" That's a great question. So I guess it's a little bit of a story time. I told myself I was going to do a video about this, but I believe it was 2008 or 2006, one of those two. It was the 2008 World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, or was that the 2008 Euros? No, I think that was the Euros. Yep, 2008 Euros, 2006 World Cup. So it started in 2006. And I just remember my mom going to work, and they did just this massive bracket, right? Of who's gonna make it, who's not gonna make it, all this stuff, and then that's the year that I believe Zinedine Zidane did the whole headbutt on Marco Materazzi, and that was making like big news and stuff like that. It was absolutely insane. And then Wayne Rooney got sent off then to for a challenge on Cristiano Ronaldo, if I'm not mistaken, in that in that World Cup. So absolutely insane stuff. But I remember my mom coming home and just doing this bracket for the World Cup, and I knew nothing about football then. And really, her friend was getting her into it, and she was like, "Help me pick some of these teams." And like, I'm like randomly just kind of picking teams and things like that. And then she's like, "All right, let's watch a game so we can see how well we did in the bracket." And I just remember seeing Thierry Henry, doing his thing, and I've never seen anybody do what he did with the ball and things like that. And that got me a little bit interested, but that wasn't, the start of the passion for Liverpool. I kind of let that just die down after that, after the World Cup. And then it was just kind of cool. And my mom continued to watch, and she started supporting Manchester United. And I never was really interested in those things. And then in 2008 is when I woke up one morning and she was watching the Premier League. And there was a team in red jerseys that were playing that day. And it was Liverpool FC. I can't remember who they were playing against, but I do remember that Steven Gerrard and Fernando Torres were doing things with the football that I'd never seen before. And I was just like, dude, this is insane. This is crazy. And I think it also helped that Fernando Torres was insanely good looking. And I this is when I used to have hair. I wanted hair like him. And I'm like, I don't think that works out for my type of hair type, but I wanted the headband. I wanted the headband with the blonde hair. And I wanted to be like El Nino. And I don't know. I just fell in love with that team. I loved Steven Gerrard. He was my favorite. He's my favorite player, second favorite player of all time behind El Nino. And the love affair started there, and I just started passionately supporting the team. Would wake up, still do wake up at 4:30 in the morning to catch these games. 7 in the morning. It's insane, especially on the West Coast. And I've been doing this for years and years and years. So 2008, let's say that the real passion started in 2008. It's been, if I do some quick math, 16 years of supporting this club. Been through the highs, been through the lows, went through the Roy Hodgson era with the signing of Paul Koscielny and Polson and Veronin and Jovanovic. Like, these were our marquee signings. You know what I mean? Like, these were the guys that we were supposed to be getting really excited about, and we did. I just remember our fan base still being really excited about some of these signings. And like, I remember when we signed Jovanovic, bro, and everyone was like, "This is the one. this is the one. And but dude, Jovanovic was a little bit of a joke. And I'm actually I lived in Las Vegas. I've been living in Las Vegas for a while now. And Andy Carroll, that signing, he was supposed to be the one. He truly was. There, people were like, he's the next Wayne Rooney. He's the next big talent out of England. And we took a gamble on him, and that didn't work out. But we did get Luis Suarez in that package, and El Nino leaving and breaking my damn heart, dude, breaking my heart, man. That was like one of the saddest days ever. But that was the catalyst of what I think has come to be now of this Liverpool team, of selling some of these massive stars that feel like they can do better somewhere else and reinvesting it into players that are hungry and want to be here. So yeah, I was so against Andy Carroll. Yeah, I mean he was balling out for Newcastle. I was just happy that we were getting something in return for Fernando Torres. And I wasn't expecting anything from Luis Suarez, which is the crazy part. I thought Andy Carroll was going to be the guy. And I remember ditching school for the Newcastle Liverpool game. And I just remember Andy Carroll banging one in from like long distance for us, and me being so hype. And I'm like, he's the one. I believe it was against Newcastle. I believe it was. I'm not sure. But I remember he scored, like it was like his first goal, and it was like from a few yards out of the box. And I ditched school for that game because it was kids that came on at noon. I used to do some crazy stuff. I even got into FIFA, um, and got super competitive in FIFA and all that crazy stuff. I was a top 70 player in FIFA when I was in high school, which is the funniest thing ever. If I'm looking back at it now, it's kind of stupid. I went like 77 in 10. That was like my record competitive. So I was pretty crazy about football. I loved it. I loved the game. Still do love the game. So, but absolutely, Chasm. If you guys ever want to hear like a more like fleshed out, detailed stories of like where I was and some of these iconic moments and things like that, be more than happy to dive into those things. But that's just a snapshot of how I came to love football and love. Can you hear me now? There we go. Boom. I don't even know what's happening there. That is not even my mic this time, which is the funniest part. That actually was my streaming software that like kind of crashed out for a second there. So sorry about that. Not the mic this time, surprisingly. It's the streaming software. I actually got a new mic because of that. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? It should be coming through there. We back. Perfect. Yeah, dude, I don't even know what the hell's going on there. But yeah, that's how I've come to love this team, man. To love this team with all of my heart. And I saw somebody say something about EDC was in London a few months ago and picked up a Torres third shirt from 2010 in the Village shirt shop. Nice. That's a good one. I had a bunch of Torres jerseys and I gave them away like a terrible, terrible Liverpool fan. I regret that till this day. Like I was in like my cool teenager era where I was like, I don't need this stuff. You can give them away, mom. And I should have kept those jerseys. All I have is a Gerard from when we were sponsored by Warrior, which is too small now. And we were sponsored by Warrior, guys. That should tell you where we were at as a club. And a couple Nunez jerseys as well. And I believe I have another. No, I have the Champions League winning jersey as well. So very, very, very cool stuff. I had a Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson was my favorite player for a little bit because I was a right back in my youngin days. And Glenn Johnson was someone that I looked up to. Sergio Ramos was my favorite right back though. And then can I catch you at the next at EDC next year? No. No, I'm not really big into festivals. I love concerts, ones that I can sit down at and just like enjoy the music. I hear EDC is a lot of standing and a lot of walking, and usually reserve that for Disney. So not at EDC, but maybe we can do some sort of fan meet one day and get together once this thing gets a lot bigger. I know some other channels do that, and I'd be more than happy to do that and maybe watch a game or something like that together. I think that'd be really fun, really cool, cool thing to do in the future once we get, thousands of people on this thing. And we can maybe do that and maybe meet at a bar, one of the bars here in Vegas or something like that. And because I believe we have a couple fan bars here in Vegas and we can watch a game and have a couple beers and things like that. So it should be fun. Um, and then yeah, they were excellent kits. The Warrior kits were they were okay. I remember there was a purple, black, and white one that I was not a massive fan of, but I just didn't love the way that they fit. Um, the Nike ones I don't actually love too much either. So I'm really excited about about the Adidas sponsorship that we're getting because I like the fit on Adidas. It's more of like that broad shoulder look, and then it kind of makes your stomach kind of tuck in a little bit. But loved watching Torres in that Legends game. It was like old times, right? Torres to Gerard or Gerard to Torres, baby. Gerard to Torres. And then EDC is great if you like flashing lights and tripping balls. Yeah, not my thing. Not necessarily my thing. And then do I go to the Liverpool bars? I haven't been to one yet. I probably should go to one. There's this one thing in LA called Cosm. If you guys have heard about that at all. And Cosm is like, if you've heard about the MSG Sphere or the Sphere here in Vegas, and I believe they have one in London, if I'm not mistaken, or somewhere in the United Kingdom. And it's like a mini version of that, and a bunch of Liverpool fans go to those when they show the Liverpool games. I might be doing that in December, which I think will be really, really fun. And it's like a bar and like a 3D screen kind of thing. You guys got to look into that for sure. They have one in LA and Dallas. I don't know if they have any overseas or anything like that, but it's like a mini version of the Sphere. And then I loved EDC. I was waiting to turn into a donkey like in Pinocchio. It's definitely one of those kind of experiences where you can't lie on that. And then I got my son that purple one. I got him the neon one too. Not the neon one. Not the neon one. Hey, you'll have to post a picture of that neon one, bruh. That neon one was crazy. Every soccer player likes the Adidas fit, but they are sinfully ugly. Look at Arsenal now. I hope that they get on top of some of the design with with us. I mean, some of the ones that I've seen, like the drafts of the jerseys that I've seen, they look good. I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful with Adidas. But I mean, even the Manchester United one is like kind of weird. The Snapdragon one, I'm like, I don't know if this is really Man U, but I don't know. We'll see. Um I like the Kings head down in Santa Monica. Nice. I'll have to check that one out for sure. I'll be in LA in December. So I'll have to check that one out if I don't end up getting tickets to that Cosm thing. So excited for Adidas to be back. I look like a busted can of biscuit dough in the Nike kits. Hey, you are not the only one at all, bruh. You are not the only one at all. I look the exact same way in these Nike kits. I have to like go like two extra sizes up just to not look absolutely ridiculous in the Nike kits. And that's why I've been kind of like a little bit, apprehensive a little bit on even wanting to do wear some of the Nike kits on some of the streams because I'm just like I don't even like the way they fit, man. And then I haven't been to the Cosm Dallas yet, but it's on the list. Definitely do it, dude. Yeah, I know Reese. Yes, you live in I believe you live in Texas, right? But or Houston. But it's definitely worth it. I think I haven't been yet, but it looks awesome from other Liverpool fans that have done it. They love it. The next Liverpool game that they're doing in LA and Dallas is already sold out. So like our fans like show up there. But it looks pretty sick, and they have like the camera that gives you like a behind the net view. It's almost like your pitch side. It's absolutely mad. If the leaks next year of the designs are accurate, I'll buy all three. Same. If they're accurate and they're actually what we think they're gonna look like, and those leaks are legit, I love it. I'm buying all three. I'm buying one for my dog, buying one for my wife. So, just south of Fort Worth, used to live in Dallas. Nice. My whole family migrated to Texas at one point, and a lot of them ended up leaving, but they lived there for like 5 or 6 years around Austin, the Houston area, Fort Worth. A lot of them are military and things like that, so I'm pretty familiar with that area. So very cool, very cool. So I know I kind of got sidetracked a little bit. Let's get back to some of these on form, out of forms kind of thing. Liverpool, they stay on form for this week. Tough game, very fun game. Credit to Arsenal. I talked a ton of shit about Arsenal this past week, 2 weeks even, the whole build up. And Arteta proved me wrong. He put on a tactical masterclass for the Arne Slot style. But then he just got a little bit too heady and went back into trying to be a good looking Stoke City, and that bit him in the ass, dude. It bit him in the ass, man. And I said that before. You can't play that way against top teams, especially an Arne Slot Liverpool team. You just can't do it. You can't do it. If you decide to do that, you give Arne Slot's team enough time on the ball, he will punish you. That team will punish you. So that ended up being his undoing, and I predicted that was gonna end up happening. I thought we would win that game, but we ended up getting a draw. But credit to Arteta and Arsenal for pulling out a result, bro, when they felt they were against the ball. And I'm not even getting into that. But we're gonna put Chelsea in there. Chelsea are on the surge. They were unlucky to not get a result against us last time. And you know, they're a dangerous team. They're a team that we're going to definitely have to keep an eye on and watch, mainly because they're just so damn dynamic, dude. I mean, the way that they just get from back to front. Cole Palmer is one of the better players in the world right now, no doubt about it. And you really can't blame him. And West Ham. I'd say West Ham is in the mix as well for the on form category. They look decent. They look okay. They're climbing back out from the bottom half of the table. I predicted that they would kind of be more near the top. So we'll see if they go on a run. But it's been a little bit of an underwhelming season for them. But I think this win against Manchester United could be the catalyst for them to just spur them on to where they need to go. But Aston Villa is another one that I feel like is a big winner from this week, combining in the results from the Champions League. If we're talking about Champions League too, yeah, Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Chelsea are going to be my three. I'd take West Ham out actually. And does anyone know if Dan's is fit? I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about Jaden Dans in months. So if anybody knows anything about Jaden Dans, please put it in the chat because I feel like he scored that brace and then disappeared from the Liverpool team. And I hate for him to end up like a Ben Woodburn or a Ryan Brewster, where you have such a hot start and you look amazing and then you just kind of burn out. So let me know where Jaden is. I believe that he was getting back fit. But speaking of the injuries, and I guess we can kind of dive into some of the off press type of stuff. I think the injuries are kind of starting to pile up for us, man. Or just be a little bit of a concern, mainly because Chiesa is having a hard time staying fit, and now Harvey Elliott looks like he's having a hard time getting back into full fitness. So it's weird. It's very, very weird, and I'm interested to see what's going on. And then Brian said, "Isn't it odd that Slot hasn't brought a single youth player into the fold at all?" From what I understood, I thought Arne Slot was one of the managers that trusted a lot of youth and rotated in a lot of youth. A lot of the Feyenoord fans had been telling me that like he is a big fan of introducing youth players and vetting them in that way. That hasn't been the case at Liverpool, and he hasn't rotated as much as I thought that he would. He's been sticking with his side, and with Jota being out, like what Dan is saying, it's it's tough because I like Jota a lot, and I think we do play great when he's on form and he's on target. But I think Nunes has been looking good, man. And if Jota is going to be out, and I believe he's going to be out for a while, because I know the ribs are nothing to play with, and you can't pretty much do it. You can't sit up. You can't. Well, you could barely walk if you got a broken rib. So he's going to be out for a little bit, and I would like to see us go after a forward in January, just as like a deputy. And I know I talked a lot of trash about Marmouche, but I think he's a good stopgap signing for us until next season, where we talk about Victor Gyökeres. I heard the news, baby. I heard the news about Victor Gyökeres, man, and I like that a lot. A lot. So I think Marmouche would be a good reinforcement. I like Coach Koo, who has been brought up in rumors again. Apparently, we sent out scouts to go watch him again, and the left back that Benfica has as well. Apparently, we were watching both of those players recently. And I think after this result, after the way that Robbo kind of performed in this past game against Arsenal, I think that's something that Arne Slot's definitely going to be looking into. So we could be looking at triple signings in January. I would not be surprised at all if we're a lot more active in January than we typically are, because we just weren't at all in the summer. So very exciting stuff coming ahead. And then Reese said, getting worried we're gonna have to park the bus on the FA and League Cups to have the best chance for Premier League and Champions. Just don't have the bodies. We don't. And we'll see. It doesn't seem like Arne is the type. I think we will be very possession heavy. I think that is a good counter to having to be very defensive, because if they don't have the ball, they don't get to score, right? Obviously, it's not gonna be a game where we have 100% possession or 80%. That's impossible, right? But I think the sweet spot for Arna is, from what I've been seeing, is that 60%. If we can get close to about 60% possession, odds are we don't lose. Do we win? Sometimes, right? Or a majority of the times. In this last Arsenal game, that second half, we got close to that 60% mark. And that's where we started to come on strong. And I think if we can just stay on to that heavy possession, slow the game down, not be as exciting as we want to be, we can make it past this season. We can make it past this season within the season of games back to back to back to back to back with the littlest amount of injuries and the most amount of fitness that you can expect out of having these mini games in such a short period of time. And I think that's the thought pattern that Arne is taking in this whole thing. And then Alex said, "I don't think we're signing anyone in January. I have no faith in FSG will back Slot." Then again, I say that so I'm not heartbroken again, dude. Same, and we'll see. And I'm hearing a lot of rumors about Trent Alexander-Arnold potentially moving on. I know that Jamie Carragher made a really good point that I thought about, and him doing that interview. And we may all be looking too into this stuff. I get it. But him doing that interview saying that he wants to win a Ballon d'Or, right? The first right back to ever win a Ballon d'Or. I thought Cafu won one, but I guess he didn't. But the first right back to ever win a Ballon d'Or, and doing that at Liverpool. I mean, you could be the best forward in the world, Mo Salah, and you're not getting a Ballon d'Or at Liverpool FC. Let's be honest. So if you want to win a Ballon d'Or, you either need to be otherworldly, Michael Owen type of otherworldly, and then not have too much competition, right? Or you need to go play for Barcelona, Madrid, Bayern Munich, one of those big teams that are just a lot more sexy and a lot more appealing to the people who do the voting on that. So I don't want to say that he's gone. I don't want to say that Trent's out. I don't want to say that that's it. But I also saw another report that said VVD is the most likely to re-sign. I think we all know that. Mo is kind of in between. He looks happy. I think Mo will resign. I think he'll probably retire a Red. Or he'll try. I want him to. I think VVD will definitely retire a Red. He's a little bit older than than Mo is, and I think this is going to be his last contract as a professional. By the end of that one, I think we'll give him a 2-year extension. He should be, getting close to 35, and I think maybe he goes to MLS for a little bit, plays, maybe in Miami or something like that. Who knows? But as for competitive top-level football, I think this is probably going to be his last contract, unless he continues to be VVD. We might extend him again, but we'll see. Mo looks very happy. Looks like he's playing some of the best football he's played in a long time. I think he'll stay. And it's the Trent. It's the Trent situation, man. It's the Trent problem that I think we all maybe need to take note of, man. And we need to think about, and we need to be like, oh, crap. What's going on with Trent? Is Trent somebody that we can kind of bank on? And I don't think so, sadly. I would love for Trent to stay. I would love for Trent, and that's my screen just moonwalking there. I would love for Trent to stay. I want Trent to stay. And I think he should be the talisman of this team. I think he should be the next Steven Gerrard of this team. Be a captain, be a leader. But this is a different era. We're talking about different types of players, different type of player as well compared to Steven Gerrard. It's just different. And money talks when it comes to a lot of these players. Popularity talks. Vanity is a real thing. Ego is a real thing, and I think you need to have it to play football. You need to have a little bit of ego to play football, and I think Trent has a big one. And we could see him move on. If he does, I just hope we get something out of it, some sort of money out of it, bro. I don't think you let a talent like Trent go for absolutely nothing. I don't think you let a talent like Trent go for absolutely nothing. But we also could be overreacting. Reports have come out, though, that Trent has already turned down multiple contract offers from Liverpool. So, and then Alex said, I think Trent is gone. He wants to play for legacy, it seems like. And LFC, to my knowledge, are a team that can the team that can offer more money. If he goes to Real Madrid, it's because he wants more trophies in the cabinet. That's a good point. I don't think it's a money thing in the end. I don't think it's a money thing. I think it's definitely, like I said, I think money does play a factor. I think money does talk. I think he'll probably get a bunch of bonuses and things like that on top of, the signings and stuff like that. I think his weekly salary is probably going to be close to what we will offer him here because obviously their wage structure is completely different and it's a lot more it's a lot higher, you know, where star players are getting $500,000 a week, right? And not 250, which is what he's wanting. They can afford that. They'll give that to him. But the branding, the marketing, the opportunities outside of football, it's just going to be it's too attractive. And to live in a place like Madrid, I'd be surprised if he turns that down. I'd be very, very surprised. And not only on top of that, Madrid actually need a right back. I would like to see FSG put their big boy pants on and they decide that we are going to get actual money out of this deal and we're going to get a deal done in January to move him on, because obviously he's not going to resign. So let's go ahead and get some money out of this deal and not let him walk for free in the summer. That would be foolish of FSG. Even if it's a $50 million deal, $45 million deal, whatever it is, it's going to be a cut price deal. His contract's running down. There's only 6 months left on it. Well, 7, 8 months left on it. You get something out of the deal. You don't let another one of our star players, our talisman, our legends, walk out of the door for free again. You don't. That's my biggest request for FSG if this does happen. And then Brian said, I'm going to laugh if he goes and flops, then comes back in a year. Has that ever happened? When that happened with Michael Owen, we didn't want him back. We didn't want him back, bro. He wouldn't play for Manchester United, bro. So if Klopp is here, I think this is a different story. I think Trent resigns in a heartbeat. But because Klopp's not in the conversation, it's a transitionary phase for Liverpool right now. Nothing's certain. I can see it happening. I really can. Will it happen? I don't know. We will have to see. We will have to see. The unpopular thing to say that Slot system supersedes individual star power. Part of the reason Arne was hired. Very true. Very, very true. So, and it's making, I think it's making his significance go down, which I don't think he loves. Because he was so important under Klopp, right? He was so important under Klopp, and really towards the end there was making our team click and work in that inverted role, right? That's not the case with this Arne Slot team. He's not the most important player on the field. The team is more important than anything. And you could even say that with Mo as well, right? To a degree, where we're not relying. I mean, I remember there was a time under Klopp where every single attack went through Mo. It went Trent, Mo, Trent to Mo, Trent to Mo. I remember there was a time that was the case. That's not the case anymore, right? And I don't think Trent loves that. So, and then Alex said, yeah, man, Madrid is basically the LA of Europe. I won't be mad at Trent if he leaves. FSG already got their fill of success with LFC. Look at actions, not words. LFC made a profit this last window. Very true. And they're a business. And I've said that in the Merseyside Monster video that I have. They run this club like a business. They do. They do. And then Michael Owen is a snake. One of the few Brits to ever win a Ballon d'Or, unfortunately. And you have to think what could have been if he just never went to Madrid, right? Same thing with like Coutinho. Same thing with who else were some massive names that decided to leave before they probably should have. Yossi Benayoun. No, I'm just kidding. But before I get going on this thing, man, that's definitely some things that I want to talk about today in terms of the press. As for the matches looking forward, man, we got this back-to-back against our bogey team, bruh. The back-to-back against the bogey team. Brighton, tomorrow at 12:30. I think we rotate the team. I don't know, though. because Arne Slot hasn't been rotating the damn team. He hasn't been doing it. He's been like rotating like 1 and 2 and 3 players out. He hasn't done a big sweep of rotations in a while. I know Arne mentioned that Endo will play, so I can imagine that Endo will be in that holding role. Partnered with who? We will have to see. I think Maka does get a rest. I'm not. I don't know if Jones will get a run out tomorrow. I'd love to see Morton get some time. I'd love to see Trey and Yoni play in that 10 role if he can. And man, if Harvey Elliott was fit, bro, that'd have been an option for us. But we'll have to see in terms of the front line. We'll have to see in terms of the front line on who gets the nod on that. But I think we do rest Mo. I think maybe Diaz gets a run out. I think Gakpo definitely is going to get some minutes. Who plays in the striking position? We're kind of light there, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I agree. This is why LFC need a Suarez / Firmino replacement the most. Trent is great, but not going to be the big boy at Madrid. They're through their rattle out the pram over Junior, Vinicius Junior. I have no idea what that even means, but I'm gonna say that's Vinny Junior's team for sure. He's just gonna be another guy at Madrid, and it's exactly what Klopp told Coutinho, is that you will just be another name if you leave here. If you stay here, they'll build you a statue. And then Brian also said LFC lose one and win one, just don't know which. I hope we are able to pull out both. But Brighton is our bogey team, and they are in good form. Brighton back-to-back is like a mini NBA Finals, right? Who the hell did the scheduling on that? I guess it was just all by luck, right? LFC better come ready to run. Chelsea exposed the lack of motor Brighton has, especially defensively. Plan should be to out-effort these guys. Only problem with Trent leaving is that it'll be for free. Don't think he's irreplaceable, though. Yeah, hopefully we get something for him, but we'll see. Greetings from Lagos, Nigeria. I never miss your show. Yeah. Thank you, Tosin. You are the man. You are the man. Lagos, that's a place that I definitely want to visit for sure. But going back to Reese's comment, yeah, it's going to be a tough game. They're young. They're hungry. They're well coached. We have to be similar to how we did the Chelsea game. Slow this damn thing down. Get possession. Don't let them loose on the break. We can't, or this might be our funeral. So, and we need to put our foot on their necks and not let go, because they have a habit of coming back from behind. So if we go up, we need to not let them back in the game, like at all. So, that is pretty much it on what we want to talk about today on the ONFORM podcast. Thank you everybody for jumping in here with me, hanging out, dealing with some of the sound issues, the camera, all of that crazy stuff. Some of this stuff isn't in my control, unfortunately, but we are flexible with it. But I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to this edition. We're doing it again. We have a new start time for the ONFORM podcast, of course, 1 p.m. now Pacific time, and then 9 p.m. British time to account for the fall. So appreciate all of you. Up the Reds. I'm going with a prediction of 3-2 tomorrow. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game tomorrow. I'm going 3-2. For the next game, I'm going to go 2-1. So let me know what you guys think. Put your predictions down